Stand by. Oh, what's up, party people? KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Hey, if you'd like to check me out, watch me play some games, do that kind of thing. Maybe you could check me out on Twitch and Facebook gaming at hashtag KeysDAN Gaming. I play some Fortnite. I play a lot of Fortnite. Not as much as I used to, but a little. I play some Fortnite. It's I don't even know why I do it. I guess it's good to unwind if I have nothing better to do. And there's hardly a time that I have nothing better to do. But that's hashtag KeysDAN Gaming. Did I sell it? I think I sold it. Also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, 10 things you need to know today for Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. 10 things you need to know today. Number 1, Biden discussing gas alternatives for Europe if Russia cuts off fuel. The Biden administration is exploring ways to boost liquefied natural gas deliveries to Europe if Russia cuts off fuel over the Ukraine crisis. CNN reported Tuesday, citing multiple U.S. officials familiar with the discussions. The United States has been talking for weeks to governments and companies in Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, and Asia to work out a global strategy to replace any lost gas exports from Russia. The discussions have reached a, quote, fairly advanced stage, end quote, one senior U.S. official said. European allies are concerned Russia could withhold gas exports, weaponizing them to discourage a harsh response if it invades Ukraine. Ukraine's leaders said a Russian invasion isn't imminent, but the threat is real. This is according to CNN and the Associated Press. Number 2, Pfizer starts trial for Omicron vaccine. Pfizer and BioNTech announced Tuesday that they had started a trial to assess the effectiveness of the version of their coronavirus vaccine adjusted to target the Omicron variant. The drug maker said they were enrolling adults ages 15 to 55 in the U.S. and South Africa to test safety and protection of the new version against COVID-19 when given as an initial vaccination or a booster shot. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla has said the company could seek authorization to begin distribution in March if the trial shows it is safe and effective. Trial results are expected in the first half of the year. The company said they could make 4 billion doses this year. Laboratory studies have shown that Omicron is more resistant to currently available vaccines than previous variants. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Number 3, College Board says SAT is going digital. The College Board announced Tuesday that the SAT soon will go completely digital, with students filling out on tablets and laptops instead of paper with number 2 pencils. The exam will also be shortened from 3 hours to 2 hours, starting in 2024 in the United States and in 2023 in other countries. The changes come after years of questions about whether the high-pressure college entrance exam is fair and necessary. The coronavirus pandemic has sped up the trend toward test-optional college admissions. The number of high school students taking the test fell from 2.2 million in 2020 to 1.5 million in the class of 2021, but has rebounded to 1.7 million so far for this year's seniors, according to the College Board. This is according to the New York Times. Number 4, New York appeals judge temporarily restores state mask mandate. A New York appeals court judge on Tuesday temporarily restored the state's mask mandate a day after a lower court judge ruled that Governor Kathy Hochul needed approval from lawmakers to make people wear face coverings to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Appellate Division Justice Robert Miller granted the state's request to continue enforcing the policy while it appeals. The lower court's ruling had sparked confusion as school districts, primarily in heavily Republican parts of the state, hurried to make masks optional. And state education officials told districts to keep mask requirements in place. Attorney General Letitia James, a Democrat, said her office would defend the mandate because, quote, "We know that wearing a mask saves lives," end quote. This is according to the Associated Press. Number 5, Biden administration pulls vaccine mandate for big companies. The Biden administration is withdrawing its vaccine or test mandate for large companies, the Labor Department announced Tuesday. The Supreme Court blocked the policy earlier this month, and the decision to pull it suggested the administration sees no way to restore it. Quote, "It's their admitting what everyone had been saying, which is that the rule is dead," end quote. Brett Colburn, a lawyer at Alston and Bird, said to the New York Times. The Supreme Court's newly expanded conservative majority ruled that the Labor Department's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, overstepped its authority by imposing the rule, which would have required about 80 million workers to show they had been vaccinated or submit to weekly COVID-19 tests. This is according to the New York Times. Number 6, CDC report says Omicron results in less severe COVID-19. The Omicron coronavirus variant causes less severe cases of COVID-19 among people needing hospitalization than previous strains, researchers for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported Tuesday. People hospitalized after Omicron infections were admitted less frequently to intensive care and had shorter hospital stays overall than patients sickened by previous variants. The report confirmed earlier signs that Omicron resulted in milder COVID-19 cases. Still, Omicron is so highly contagious that it has caused record numbers of infections, and the volume of cases has pushed daily deaths to more than 2,200 on average, among the highest death toll since early 2021. This is according to the Washington Post. Number 7, UK police investigate Downing Street lockdown parties. British police said Tuesday they were investigating lockdown parties held at Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Downing Street official residence in what critics have said were violations of the government's own coronavirus restrictions. The allegations have left Johnson fighting calls for his resignation. Reports of copious amounts of alcohol and jokes by staff about how to explain the revelry to reporters have left Johnson's reputation badly tarnished and his ratings in a freefall. ITV reported Monday that Johnson and his now wife, Carrie, went to a 30-person surprise party on his birthday in the Cabinet Room in June 2020, when his government had banned indoor gatherings. Johnson's office has said he spent, quote, less than 10 minutes, end quote, at the birthday celebration, and that he didn't believe he had broken any laws. This is according to Reuters and CNN. Number 8, Alex Jones says he pleaded the Fifth almost 100 times during January 6th testimony. The far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones said Tuesday on his radio show that he used his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, quote, almost 100 times, end quote, on Monday during his testimony before the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack. Jones said he wanted to answer the questions, but, quote, at the same time, it's a good thing I didn't, because I'm the type that tries to answer things correctly, even if I don't know all the answers. And they can then kind of claim that's perjury, end quote. The committee's chair, Representative Benny Thompson, Democrat Mississippi, sent Jones a letter last month that stated the panel had evidence Jones helped plan and fund the, quote, Stop the Steal, end quote, rally that was held immediately before the Capitol attack. This is according to NBC News. Number 9, RFK Jr. apologizes for Anne Frank anti-vax remark. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. apologized Tuesday for invoking the name of Anne Frank, a Jewish girl who died in a Nazi concentration camp, to suggest that Jews had freedoms during the Holocaust that unvaccinated Americans don't. RFK Jr. tweeted that he was, quote, truly and deeply sorry, end quote, for the pain and his remarks caused. Quote, my intention was to use examples of past barbarism to show the perils from new technologies of control, end quote, wrote Kennedy, the son of the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy, Democrat, New York, and nephew of President John F. Kennedy. RFK Jr. has faced sharp criticism for his comments. The Auschwitz Memorial said that, quote, exploiting, end quote, those, quote, humiliated, tortured, and murdered, end quote, by the Nazis, quote, in a debate about vaccines and limitations during global pandemic is a sad symptom of moral and intellectual decay, end quote. This is according to The Hill. Number 10, David Ortiz is lone player elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Former Boston Red Sox slugger David Ortiz was the only player to be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame this year. Quote, I am truly honored and blessed, end quote, Ortiz said in a statement Tuesday. Ortiz, a.k.a. Big Papi, hit 541 career home runs plus 17 in the postseason and was a World Series champ 3 times. He was the second player from the curse-breaking Red Sox to be admitted to the Hall of Fame, joining former pitcher and fellow Dominican Republican native Pedro Martinez. Ortiz was named on 77.9% of ballots, surpassing the 75% threshold in his first year of eligibility. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, tarnished by their suspicions of performance-enhancing drug use, were passed over in their 10th and final year of eligibility. This is according to USA Today and the New York Times. That's 10 things you need to know today for Wednesday, January 26, 2022. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it so much. I'm just trying to learn some things. And since I have this broadcast software, might as well teach some other people if they'd like to come along in the journey, even with my stumbling and stuttering. This is KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast. It's called What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere, the audio version and video version, using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.